not working? Oh, it's working. Right, we are live. Hi guys, sorry for the delay there. Hands up, it's me. I wasn't quite organised in time today.
I emailed myself.
Oh, you've done it. Well done. Yes, sorry. I couldn't find your email address, and I thought.
Do you know what? We should be able to do it from within here. Like,
oh, your mic's gone funny.
Yeah, the hair sounds terrible to me.
Yeah, you sound like a dollar, right?
Yeah, something's really wrong there, mate.
Yeah, you need to get a Mac.
You need to get a Mac and get back on Facebook.
How's that? Is that any good?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, still your annoying voice, but we can hear you.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh dear. It's
Getting a Mac.
That,
It's getting a Mac. Yeah.
Anyway, glad you made it to here. Welcome everybody. This is our regular Tuesday Tat Chat show, number 100 and something. And we have some special guests with us today. I'm really pleased to say that Lonnie has joined us. Do you want to say hi, Lonnie? Introduce yourself. Let people know where they can find you, etc.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invite. First of all, Nick, really going to be fun to join y'all today. My name is Lonnie. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Garage Flips. That's where you can find me. I've been making videos for a couple years now, and hey, glad to join y'all today, guys. Very, very happy.
No, fantastic you could make it. And we have Carla back. How are you? Apart from worn out, we were just chatting about what you've been up to.
Yeah, apart from being absolutely exhausted, I'm okay. Yeah, I've been grommet hunting again, and so I don't know if anybody's bothered watching the videos, but anyone who has will know what I'm on about, and I'm just absolutely knackered. We've covered about 20 miles today and only found 5 grommets.
Ronnie, do you know what Wallace and Gromit is over there?
Okay, I thought a grommet was like a little metal ring or something like that you would.
That's why I look so tired.
Okay, well, you're talking about like a character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the animated Wallace and Gromit series. I don't know if that was big in America or not.
I've heard of it.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was huge in America.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's a thing here.
Yeah.
Cool. We have Tom back with us. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm back here to annoy you. I'm the token grumpy person to have a good old moan. So, hey, everyone.
Well, this subject is tailor-made for you, Tom.
Yeah.
And Zahir, how are you? Sorry about the cock up before. I was being...
No, not at all. Not at all. No, absolutely fine. Just getting on with some work today and been,
All the other ones got the bells on.
Yeah, pull the other one.
Whatever. We've been super organised.
I've been working today. I made a little video because I was highly amused with what I was doing. It involved lots of trains, playing with trains. That's been my day's work today. But there's a little video coming that should be quite fun. So, yeah, I just want to say hi in the side chat. If you're new to these, welcome. We do this as a weekly show. We've kind of evolved it into, well, I ripped off Lonnie's idea, basically. We're going to have more of an open panel of people to join us as and when they can moving forward, because it got a bit stale with just myself and Zahir week in, week out, trying to come up with something to talk about. So hopefully as it moves on, we'll have an ever-growing wider panel of people that will drop in from week to week. I did message Darren, so he might pop in if he's about as well. So yeah, welcome if you're new. If you're a regular, I can see many regulars in the side chat. I'm just going to pop in and say a few hellos. Let me scroll back, see who was first in. I think Peter was first in, unless I can't get back to the beginning. So hi, Peter. Hi, George. Star Fox. Richard Hale, welcome. Lindsay. Southwest Sellers, that's Gary is in. So welcome, everybody. I'm going to scroll to the end. You may be able to see from the title that we're going to talk a bit about storage, about the pros and maybe the cons of having lots of storage space or not having enough storage space, the different methods we use as a panel to cope with that or not cope with that, and see what comes out of it. So if you've got any questions or you want to let us know your solutions or your problems, drop those in the side chat and we'll try and get onto those. So should we start with you, Lonnie? Because Tom was just saying that he was quite envious of how neat and tidy your storage unit is.
Yeah.
How do you cope with your stock?
Okay, so I think I may be kind of putting a sham on you guys a little bit, because I actually have 2 storage units. Okay, I show the one unit that has all my stuff that's listed. That's the one that I show on my YouTube channel. There's another one right across the hall that has like all the unlisted stuff.
Secret shed of shame.
You don't want to see that. Well, maybe you do, but I don't want to show you that.
Oh, we do. We want
We
to
do that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
we need to
one
see
we
that.
really want to see.
But the one that I have all my listed inventory in, it actually works pretty well, and it's nothing fancy to it. I put shelves all down the sides and down the middle, and basically, I have like a department store approach to it. Like books go in this section, video games go here, toys go here, board games go here, shoes over here, and I don't. Other than that, I don't really like get too crazy about like putting numbers on things and whatnot, you know, like labeling bins and all that stuff for the most part. I just put things in categories, and whenever I need to go pull something, I just go fish around in that category, pull the thing, and move on to the next one. With my inventory size, it's working pretty well. I don't know, like if I doubled my inventory size or tripled it, would it work? I don't know.
So what sort of size do you operate on normally, listings wise?
Right now, I have a total of about, I think, 1,100 items in about 830 distinct listings. So some of them are multi-quantity listings. But
Okay. That's still quite a lot of stuff to not have a refined inventory system with numbered shelves or bins or whatever. Has that caused you any problems? Because I've had some issues with that.
no, not really. I mean, like, here's the deal. I sell across a wide range of product categories. So I have like maybe 30 figurines, right? So if I sell a figurine, I know where they're at. And then my eyeballs and my brain can tell me like which one is which, you know? So it's, and like I might have, say, 100 books, and then I may have 100 ball caps.
Yeah.
You know? So as long as I know generally where to go, I can pick it out from there.
Yeah, I mean, most of the issues I've had is because I've got lots of similar items. Certainly currently, I've been plowing through the car parts, still am. And then I did a collection of Magic the Gathering trading cards, which are pretty much all the same. So, yeah.
Now, whenever I do have things that are the same, like I bought a lot of 17 Zero Halliburton cases recently. Here's a case in point. Well, case in point. That didn't mean the pun. But like they're very similar looking, and they're very similar size and everything. So in those kind of cases, I just took like painter's tape, and then I put like Z1, Z2, Z3, all the way through Z17. And then in the that custom label thing you can do on eBay,
yep,
I just put like Z whatever. So whenever I go to pull that case on my app, on my eBay app, you can actually tap on it and you can see that custom field now. And then I know to pull that one. In those kind of situations, I do have like a number, you know,
yeah.
Or for like remote controls, I'll do that same thing.
Do you use like the SKU thing as well when you're listing? Do you actually use the SKU box? SKU.
That is isn't that another
Is that
name?
what you're talking
Custom
about?
name?
I thought Lonnie was saying that you mark the actual case with.
I just put like a piece of painter's tape and I Sharpie it on there.
Okay.
You know.
And when you're listing it, do you actually like put like where it is? You know, like some people actually use their listing to put where something is, so they know when something sells, they know that it's in, you know, cupboard A or.
I tell you what I do, like with these Zero Halliburton cases, for instance. Whenever I'm taking my photos, the first thing I do is if I'm working on case Z5, I'll write Z5 on my tape. Then I'll take a close-up photo of that, and then I'll take the product photos. And then I'll do Z6, then I'll take the product photos. Because even when I'm like trying to match up photos to listings, that's how I can easily do it. I can identify the correct thumbnails to pull for that listing. And then whenever I make the listing, I put the Z5 or Z6 or whatever in the custom field, or the SKU field, I guess you could call it. And then, yeah, that's it, man.
That's a good idea. I've employed that when I'm doing the listing. So you because if you're taking lots of photos of similar items, picking out the photos from little tiny ones on your computer is a nightmare.
Yes.
So yeah, taking a picture of the number just before doing your series of pictures is fantastic. I was going to ask you, Carla. Oh, the cat's gone now. You had a cat with you a moment ago.
Yeah. No, she's not particularly sociable.
Am I right in saying that all of your stock, all of your business is held within your home? So you have different problems with that. How do you cope having everything in your house?
Most of it's here.
Yep.
I sell predominantly clothing, I suppose. Probably about 60 to 65% clothing, 35% tat. So all the clothing is here. I've got the Calyx cubes that I know Andrea uses, and they're around. I mean, this is a poor example because this one isn't actually very full, but I ram them absolutely full to the brim until I can't force them shut, basically.
Yeah.
And all of the clothing is labelled with the listing title. So if I sell clothing, I can literally check that that's the correct listing title, because clothing all looks the bloody same once you fold it up and pack it away. And the rest of the tat is in the loft. The bulk of the rest of the tat is in the loft. DVDs and books are under my bed. I've got one of those lift-up beds, so DVDs and books are under there, and the rest of the tat is in the loft. And my loft operates the way Lonnie's does, so it's in departments. In there, this is where the mugs are, this is where the board games are, this is where the health and beauty stuff is, and so on and so forth. So I know where I'm heading for my item. And I've got 970 odd listings, and I could pick any of them for you within 3 minutes max. I could tell you where it is. So whether it would work if I had 1,800 listings or 18,000 listings, I don't know. The house would probably cave in.
Does your stock creep into the other living areas of the house? Or do you have clearly defined boundaries of where the stock lives and doesn't live, more importantly?
It lives in here until it's listed, and once it's listed, it either lives in here in the loft. It's not anywhere else. We don't have a hallway, so I think that makes a difference. So when you walk in through the front door downstairs, it's literally like a tiny square, and then the stairs, and then the front room. And upstairs again, another tiny square, and the bedrooms come off there. So there's no man's land. I think the hallway becomes a no man's land.
Oh, definitely.
You put it down when you come in through the front door, whatever. I don't have that.
Yeah, we have a little square-like hallway with a place for the coats and all that. That just is a dumping ground of the kind of in-between zone where things get dumped, and then it spreads into the living room, and it doesn't. There isn't. The house isn't big enough. It wouldn't. I mean, I don't live here alone. I live here with my 2 adult kids, and it wouldn't be fair on them if I spread any further. But this room is my bedroom as well as my. What you guys can't see is that this section is work and that section is my bedroom, and this is hell. This is hell on earth to live in. Because I wake up in the morning and what I see is tat.
I used to have a situation like that. Man, do you ever feel like you're sleeping at work or working?
I feel like I'm overwhelmed by junk, and like I said, I wake up in the morning, the first thing I see is a stack of Disney mugs that I should have listed and haven't for months now.
Oh my goodness.
I'm considering moving them along just so I can have a different view.
So Zahir, I'm thinking of saving Tom till last. Zahir, we can see, or we see sometimes in the background of your videos, you have a crate system. Is that the majority of your stock is in crates?
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that stops anyone from actually being able to kind of manage their business at home is going to be either your income to spend on inventory, and then B, space to store it. And luckily, since we've been dealing with just parts, we've now got, I think I've got about 4,500 items, individual items, across 1,200 listings.
I'll be back in 2
minutes. No worries. Across 1,200 listings, and pretty much 99% of them are in whatever crates I've got there. Was it 6, 10? I've got about 12 crates there, and pretty much that houses all of it. And it's been really nice to do it that way. So we've gotten the house back. We don't need to kind of look at it. It's out of the way. And more importantly, I think it also allows room for more growth. So I can go and get more stock, and I'll be able to fit that in, and no issues. So I think we're in a pretty happy place right now when it comes to inventory. And I think it's, in a way though, it's affected what I've been picking up in the past. I think it's stopped me from picking up bigger items now. Whereas I used to pick up a lot of hi-fi stuff and a lot of coffee stuff or whatever, any bulky items. It's kind of really made me think hard about buying those items now, because I love so much dealing with the, you know, small compact items. Like I said, 4,500 items in like 12 crates. You know, I'll take that over, you know, filling the house up with bigger, bulkier items.
Have you still got overspill in the shed, or has that all been cleared?
There is some overspill that I've not gotten around to listing yet, but again, once it's sorted, it's just going to be in crates, so it's not going to take a great deal of room. So yeah.
Sounds ideal. I've been neglecting the chat. I just wanted to read a few comments. If you see any, please read them out. I can't pronounce that name. Gregor's Wallersilk. I have only a shed, and it needs cleaning and sorting. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Wow, so many comments coming in. Lee Allen says, "Help us with our storage issues." I'm not sure what help we're all going to be. We can share what we do, but whether that will help you,
you need Tom. Tom will show you how it's done.
Tom is the font of all knowledge on this. We will get on to Tom in a second.
I am the box troll. That's what my friends call me.
Oh, and somebody was in your neck of the woods. Lyland Elf. Hi, Carla.
Lillian Elf, yeah.
I was down towards your neck of the woods on Saturday in Trowbridge. Is that near?
Oh yeah, not far away.
Oh, lovely. Small world.
Yeah.
Right, let me scroll to the end. Wow, so much chat I'm missing. Sorry, guys. I'm just
sorry about that.
Oh, it's up, buddy. Moomin's Rose. I'm in a one-bed flat, so I find it really difficult, and I'm only just starting out with 50 items of clothes. You're going to have to really keep on top of that then and get the turnover going, because if that's all the space you've got, yeah, that's going to be tough. It really is. If you're working out of a one-bed flat.
If that's all the space I had, I would try to get to the point. I mean, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I would try to get to the point very quickly where I could afford to, get a storage unit or whatever they call it over there. As soon as possible. I mean, how can you operate otherwise?
Or take the route and be really, really clinical about it and say, I'm only going to source postcards or jewelry. Or
sell small things like jewelry.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not drugs, by the way. That is jewelry. Sorry, just to clarify.
Sirens in the background.
Yeah.
So, moving on to yourself, Tom. Do you want to let us know a bit about your storage solutions or issues? Right then. Where do we begin?
So once upon a time, when I first started, I just had we had a spare bedroom, and not that it was really a bedroom because no one could ever sleep in it because it was rammed full of dodgy IKEA shelves that kept falling down and whatnot. So I sort of evolved from that, really. My top tips are really useful storage boxes. They're the best boxes you can get. And as Zahir knows, big blue boxes as well. They're good.
Is that an actual brand name? Really useful box?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and occasionally you can get them cheap from Office Depot, or sometimes they have sales on Amazon and that sort of thing. They're expensive, but I've yet to break one, and I've broke endless amounts of BM bargain ones and home bargains. You know, I can sit my fat arse on it and it doesn't break, and that sort of thing.
I can stand on a really useful box and it doesn't give in, and that's saying something. Yeah, they're good. They're made of good stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, but
when did it expand outside of the house then? I mean, how long into your reselling did you garage and shed? And
well, it's when I moved house and we moved to a place that had got a garage, and I was like, oh, I've got space. And then poof, it's full. You know, just instantly full. Whatever space you have, just fill it. It's just ridiculous. And then I got a storage unit, and then another one, and a shipping container, and another shed, and then it just cascades from there. So I'm sort of pulling back slightly now. My goal is by the end of the year to reduce it by one storage unit. So yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But my current system is changing a bit, because I was storing some stuff in my loft, but with this hot weather we've had, yes, had some issues. I had some like Yankee candles which just melted completely.
Yeah.
I had some other perfume stuff. I had a soap which just like dissolved and went into all sort of other clothes and stuff. So I had to yank it all out the loft, and it's now in my spare bedroom. So yeah, I've got to think about stuff like that. And then certainly in one of the storage containers, it's not heated. So in the summer, stuff's baked, and in the winter it freezes. So it's difficult. It is difficult.
I had, I think I said to you, I had exactly the same problem. I bought a bunch of Christmas candles, and they were in the loft. And my loft, like yours, is an oven in the hot weather, and they just literally melted. And also, I've not checked, but I have loads and loads of cosmetics. I'm trying to think right now: is there going to be soap in some of those boxes?
I know the ones you mean, and I was thinking exactly the same. And so
that is an issue.
Yeah, just gonna have to hope for the best. And so now what my system is the loft is just for packaging material. It's full of tape and bubble wrap and stuff like that. Because I thought, well, I might as well keep bubble wrap up there. It'll insulate the loft anyway. So happy days. And then I store it all off site. So
you are paying for some of that storage then?
Yeah, it's
that's a cost well spent.
Over £1,000 a month. In storage fees.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's serious, isn't it? That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then don't get me started on the Amazon storage fees, which are coming out tomorrow. That's $2,500 every 6 months. So yeah.
So are you really trying to pare things back now? Is that the mission right now, or you?
Yeah, I mean, my inventory as it sits now is I've got 350 items on eBay. It's taken a real clobbering eBay, so I need to up that. And then I don't know exactly on Amazon. I've got 6,000 listings. 6,028 products, but there's many multiples of that, so it's over 10,000 items.
Wow.
But obviously Amazon's got a lot of those, so thank God.
Yeah, most of that is FBA, isn't it, or not?
Yeah, well, I've got 1,876 items I'm posting out. So,
wow.
How do you decide which to send up and which to keep with you?
Well, it's changing. I mean, it used to be I'll just send anything in, just get it in, get it out of my house, get it out of the way. But then with these increasing fees, it's become, you can't do that anymore, unfortunately. So now it's really the hot selling, the quick selling stuff I send in, and anything that's going to take longer than 6 months, I'll keep hold of now. But the system, this is my last tip, really, I suppose, which I use. I was going to do a video about, but I'll never get around to it. I use, you've got to be on Apple. So here is, out of this one, unfortunately. You could use it on Android. On my phone, you go in the notes section. You've got a section that's like notes. And what I do is I'll have all. So what I do is I have a really useful storage box. I label it, say, box 1. And then I'll start a note and it says box 1. And underneath, I'll list everything that's in that box. And then what you can do at the top of notes is there's a search feature. So then what you can do is you go in and search. And as long as you've spelt it right and it's not been auto-corrected, you can search and it'll come up, oh, it's in loft. It's in the loft in box 3. So that's really, you can use the notes section on your phone as like a searchable inventory system. And that's because I've spent too many hours going, I've seen this bloody book, where is it? And it's like stuck to the bottom of something else. So
is that for Amazon then?
Oh, and eBay as well.
Because eBay, surely you could just put the box number.
I can now, yeah.
Title or in the SKU. I used to put them in the title, so it's always there.
See, I always used to save it for another keyword, and I used to put it in the description, but then that's an extra step to go through. Click again, go in the description.
Yeah. But
now with this custom label SKU thing, it's actually I'm doing it both. It's doubling it up, but it's
So Tom, I've been interested in that kind of system in the past, like where you just have totes or boxes or whatever, and you just fill the tote until it can't hold anymore, and then you go to the next one, right?
Yeah.
So do I understand you correctly? Like you'll have some, like a tote, and it could have a book and a couple of video games and a pair of blue jeans or a food process, whatever the hell, right?
Yeah. Totally random.
Okay. So, and then you have your inventory that you keep on notes. What happens? Here's the scary part for me with that kind of system. What happens when something breaks down? What happens
if you?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not on my phone; it's on the cloud, so I can search it on my computer as well, which is why I did it. But if the classic, which has happened to me many times, is you're in there getting a few items and you accidentally put the wrong item back in the box, because obviously sometimes things are at the bottom, so you pull it all out, put it back in the, and at that point you've lost about 3 hours looking for it. Normally it's in the box next to it. Also, there's a glitch with Apple where they weren't showing in notes it searchable all the time, so things like that have happened, and when it breaks down, it's bad. But it's been far better than my old system that I had, it seems.
Yeah.
What was your old system?
It was, I think it's in that box, and then I'll spend an hour and a half looking for an item that sold for $5.
I can see the advantage of what you're doing, Tom, because like it's easy to expand and contract.
Yeah.
Because like whenever I have departments, right, and on shelves or whatever, like a lot of times I'll grow, like a certain department will get too big for its shelf, and then where do I go then? Or another department, maybe I'll sell out all that stuff and I don't get it for a while. Now I got an empty shelf, right? So, but with your method, it's like, oh, box, it doesn't matter. So I see it.
The only thing you've got to do is go back to the early boxes and fill them back up, because what could happen is you go along and you're gradually depleting the boxes, and you've got about 4 boxes that have only got 2 things in them.
I've got a system for that, if I can talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so for blue jeans, because blue jeans all look fairly similar, right? I've got like maybe 80 pair or so. And what I do is I have boxes that are all numbered, like say 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and so on. Okay. Whenever I list them, I put one of these clothespins on the bag.
Oh, is that a peg? We call them pegs. What did you call it?
A clothespin.
Pen.
It's for hanging laundry.
Clothespin.
Yeah.
Oh, pin. Oh, we call them pegs.
Okay. So anyway, I have numbered pegs.
Yep.
and so whenever I list that pair of jeans, I'll clip this to the bag, and then I put that bag in that box, right? So when that sells, I go grab that number bag, and I know exactly where it is. And then whenever I ship that bag off, I have this peg, and I'll return this peg to a box with other pegs in it. And then the next time I list a pair of jeans, I pull that peg out, and I know that I have an empty spot right there.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
So that's one way to deal with that. If you have like all similar size items, you know.
We did a similar thing way back when Andrea and I were doing clothing and nothing but clothing. We used to have everything in poly mailers. You know, they weren't eBay ones back then, but in poly mailers, and they'd be numbered. Rack A would have A1 through to A100 or whatever, and then you'd pick it, and I'd actually ship it in a different bag, and then the A1 bag would go in the pile and be filled with the next item of clothing. And like you said, unless it got annoying if the next thing was a big coat or something and it wouldn't fit where a t-shirt was, but there should be a space on that rack in that numerical place where there'll be a hole for the next thing, and it works generally. But now I don't really have a system right now, apart from for the car parts and the trading cards. I have shelves that all this stuff is listed down the back here, and I just know where it is. But I can see that I'm going to have to start labeling shelves, and then when I list it, find the gap and put in the what do we call it, SKU box, which shelf it's on. At least start that, because I haven't got that going in here. Apart from these, you can see all these little labels here. This is like C1, C2, C3 for car parts, and there's a spare room upstairs with hundreds more in. Yeah.
I'd be intrigued to, like people like Ken who sell postcards, how they sort their inventories out. Do they do it alphabetical, or when you've got, say, you like your Magic the Gathering cards, same size things and hundreds and thousands of them.
What I do with cards is super simple.
Oh,
Ken's got 40,000 listings, and they're all in one shoebox.
What I've got left of the trading cards, the individual and small bundles are in here, and it's literally just number 1 envelope, number 2, number 3, number 4, all the way through to 200, and that's just in the SKU, and it's as simple as that. But here's a mistake don't make. Some of these, there'll be like 3 or 4 of the same card, but they're worth good money, so I've listed them individually. Someone keeps selling. I've done it.
It's the same flipping offer.
Oh,
I've got one offer bouncing back and forth.
So what I've done twice now is I sold a card for $5.99. I actually had 2 of them running on this listing. I didn't make a note of it on the envelope. Came to pick it, picked both, and sent them off. So I basically gave the guy a free £6 card, and I've done it twice now, and it's bloody annoying. So that's the only flaw in that system, having multiples in one envelope. So if you can make a note on the envelope that this has 2 lots in or 4 lots in, yeah, that's what I need to do.
It's often bad when you discover it after you've sold the second one as well. So then you've got
exactly
to.
what I do. Yeah, both times, because you don't know, and that stays there, one available still, not in existence until you sell it, and then you go, the first time I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't work it out how I'd done it, and then it happened again.
Wouldn't one of those little harking back to the 80s now, do you remember those tiny little card files you used to have?
A Rolodex?
Yeah, like a Rolodex. Yeah, similar to that. One of those. Wouldn't that work for trading cards?
Potentially, yeah.
Or floppy disk holder. You know, one of those.
Yeah.
I know they sell well on their own, but
You know what I've dreamed of before? Have you all ever seen, like, I don't know, your dry cleaners are like this or not, where they have like a button they hit, and then this, like, it just, and like they have these racks that just automatically move. I have this like dream in my head, like where I'm shipping stuff, and I'm at my shipping station. I just hit a button, and this thing just brings my item to me. That's what I want.
Well,
did you ever see that film Overboard? Have you ever seen Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, and he builds a kind of a wardrobe?
yeah,
It's pretty much a girl's film, so you guys are like, no, not really for me.
I've seen
The
it.
wardrobe that he builds, the bits come forward and go to the side and go back. That would be ideal.
Now, one thing, I made a few notes down here. We've kind of covered most of it already, just naturally, just talking about storage. But one thing I wanted to say, does this apply to you? Out of sight, out of mind, and does that affect you? Talking about storage and how much more storage space you might have. Carla, does that ring a bell with you? Out of sight, out of mind?
I have a flat rule that it doesn't go in the loft unless it's listed. However, before I made that rule, quite a lot of stuff went in the loft that wasn't listed. It's all still up there. I've got a hotel board game. Every time you sell one, I go, I really must get that out of the loft and list it. Because it's in the loft, I don't see it. It doesn't bother me. There must be one entire section that A is wasted space because it's not listed, and B is wasted money, and it's out of sight, out of mind, exactly, which is why all this junk is still here, to try and make me focus my mind on it. Although I found that I can just go out and ignore it. So
yeah. I've only just found a hotel board game, by the way. That one I got last week was the first one I've ever found.
I'm sure it was you that I had the idea from to get it up when I saw it in the first place.
It may have been Ben.
Maybe it was someone else.
Ben's had it. So yeah, Zahir, does that apply to you? Out of sight, out of mind? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, if it's not in front of you, it's so easy to just not think about it. So, like, I mean, I do like to just have everything. I like the fact that it's out of sight in the sense of the rest of the house. I like that it's just all kept here, and then I can just deal with it there. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it is. I think if it's not right in front of you, I mean, the stuff that's in the shed just constantly gets forgotten about. But then I remember actually I really should sort that out. But you know, so definitely.
Isn't it?
I tell myself it's appreciating in value.
Yeah, I wish mine was. It's surprisingly fast, that process of actually forgetting what I've got up in the loft, or even just at the back of here. Sometimes I'll find a box, and there's no way on earth I'll tell you what's in that box, and I'll open it up, and it's a genuine surpse. And sometimes I only bought it like 3 months ago, and it's just sat there. It's just
that's fun though, right? It's like you're going sourcing out of your own stuff. It's fun.
It's
like that.
fun, but it's going to be a million miles from efficient. That's what it's not, is efficient. I just wanted to read Flipping Fantastic Finds us in, says, loving that's Kelly, I believe. Loving
Yeah.
this chat. I've started trying to organize my inventory this morning, so I'm taking notes. Well, hopefully in amongst this there's some helpful chat, but yeah, I'm not the best. Don't listen to me. Apart from trading cards, I'm quite pleased with that. Although I did
I think
just
we've given
explain that
a
I
fairly
messed it
firm
up.
list of don'ts.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, a good gauge of whether it's working, I suppose, is just, you know, how, like you said, how many of those situations do you have, like Nick mentioned, where you oversell something or you can't find something. I mean, the bigger your inventory gets and the more items, especially when it comes to multi-listings, you do start to get that squeaky bum moment when certain items are down to the last one, and you're like, is that one, like, you know, set of, you know, springs or whatever, is that really going to be exactly, are we that good? And touch wood, we've been so impressed with, like, our, like, I think we may have had one item that we should have had that we didn't so far, and bearing in mind like how many sales we've had, bearing in mind how many items we've got listed, that's amazing. That's like, we thought we were gonna, we braced ourselves that, you know what, we are going to make mistakes, especially when it comes to multi-listings. We're going to have mess ups, we're going to have stock discrepancies, because I remember working at Dixon's back in the day, and I remember, and same at Harrods, I used to hate the stock take days, and I'm like, hold on, I don't do stock takes, but in a way you kind of should. But like, you remember when you're working at, like, you know, you're working at Dixon's or Harrods or wherever, and it's like you're doing the stock take days, and how meticulous they used to be getting you to count every item.
Yeah, but do you remember how far wrong they were on virtually everything?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
I just want to say, before we move on to Tom and ask if out of sight, out of mind rings true with Tom, I do have what I think is a really good tip and something I've got into the habit of doing. You were saying about multiple items and that squeaky bum moment where you've got one or two left. Is it correct? I've got in the habit, and I think it's worth getting into. When you sell something off a multi-item listing, at the moment when it sells, see how many are left. When you go and pick it, count them.
Yeah.
And if you get into that habit, the moment you're there, you've got the listing open, you can click revise, you can make it right. For whatever reason it's out, it doesn't matter. At that moment when you sell a multi-listing item, get in your head what it says currently is available on the listing, check it and revise it. And I've been doing that with the car parts, and touch wood, I've only made one mistake with the car parts, 2 mistakes with the trading cards, but yeah, it's working okay.
Definitely, that is actually something I do. That's a really good tip, because it just saves you that headache later on, doesn't it? And no matter how meticulous you've been, just dealing with that level of stock, it's different. You know, like, I remember when my eBay store had like 200 items, you know, I didn't need a system. I used to just shove things on the shelf in any which way, and like you said, if it sold, I knew what it was, right? And also that depends on the size of the product as well, right? I mean, if you sell like a 30-kilo amp, you know, you're going to know where it is. You know, it's not something you can misplace.
Would you say, and maybe I'll ask Tom this, would you say that when you are starting and when you are small, that is when to implement a system, when it's doable?
Yes, but I don't
if I knew then what I know now.
Yeah, but I just don't think it works like that, does it? I mean, because then it would be too easy. I think it's no. I don't mean it like that. But I'm like, if everyone was that, you know, ahead of the curve, you know, because when you first start out, you're just excited to be building your inventory, and you're picking up all kinds of items. You know, I think that you're right. You probably should have some kind of a system. But at that point, you probably won't need it, because you, like you said, at that point, when you've got like 200-300 items, you can tell exactly where each one is. It's when you start getting to the higher numbers and you start aging. The
moment you think about inventory organization is the moment you've been looking for one item for an hour. That's the moment in everybody's reselling life where they think, I need to organize my inventory. And it's only because you've been scratching your head and swearing at your shelving for an hour and you can't find it.
Can I just say, Nick, you had a super chat from Krillin.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was quite a while back. We were chatting away and he said he hired a storage unit and now he has 2 death piles instead of 1.
Sorry, Krillin. I've been appalling at reading the chat. I can't even see the super chat now. Apologies, Rob. Appreciate that. So going back, Tom, sorry, we kind of missed you out. Out of sight,
It's
out
not.
of mind. Does that ring true in your world?
I would highly go back to the oh, got a bit of an echo. Going back to the starting inventory system quickly, I wanted to say that it is good to implement it early, but some people get lost in spreadsheets and systems, and when you're starting, you just need to put some graft in and get stuff listed, because some people can go way over the top with spreadsheets about how much they paid and how much it sold for and what box it's in, and you just need to get stuff listed is the other thing. But I'd say if you're starting it off, you do need to start thinking about it. But yeah, out of sight, out of mind is definitely a huge issue, because as soon as you close that door, it just goes out your head. I just don't care. But it does keep me up at night sometimes, thinking I've got all this stuff that's probably been eaten by mice at the moment that isn't listed. So it is. But then I also think, well, I didn't pay a lot for it. So, but then I am paying a lot for it in storage fees. So you go round and round in your head. So
Definitely.
It's an insane amount of money you're spending a month on storage, man.
Yeah,
that would stress me out. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, something that, but you're not going to change it either. You just buy more.
That isn't all. I mean, the vast bulk of that storage is for my listed stock, though. So it's a business expense at the end of the day. It's one of them. That's with rates, power. All that stuff, toilet, water, all that. It's the proper thing. So it's not like just a couple of sheds knocking around. But yeah, I would advise. Storage units are a slippery slope. I said to myself that I wouldn't get like a proper like roller shutter storage unit, and I did, and I haven't been to it for 3 months now, and it's all unlisted. I'm paying like 70 quid a month, and it's just unlisted, and that's the one that I'm going to get rid of, because
Maybe you should switch your system and put listed stock in the paid for storage.
Yeah.
And keep the unlisted stock at home, and at least that way you feel like the stock that you're paying storage on is at least making you some money. Maybe.
Yeah, and that's what I'm moving to do. But yeah, certainly with this inventory system, which someone put in the chat earlier, I did steal it off Amazon. The whole having a central hub. That has helped, because you don't have to remember where stuff is anymore, and that weight off your mind is fantastic. Really, I ain't got a clue what's in any of the boxes, maybe roughly, but then that's great, really.
Yeah, I remember watching a video about Amazon FBA and how they do random stow, or random storage as they call it, and you'll have like a salt and pepper pot next to whatever. A beaker next to a Mickey Mouse toy, whatever. It doesn't matter what they are; they're totally unrelated. And that, they said, that's part of the genius of it, because you can't get confused. And it's just that they scan in the shelf barcode and the barcode on the FBA product, and it's there. And the computer somewhere in the cloud knows where it is, and that's all that matters. So it's quite a clever system.
Yeah, you are very reliant on it, right? And the one major pitfall was the autocorrect on my phone would change names. So I'd be searching like, where on earth is this? And it's changed the name to something completely different. And then you've got to remember to delete it off the notes as well. Otherwise it stays in your phone. But I had to implement it after searching for a bloody Michael Bolton CD for a day and a half. And I could not find this CD. I ended up having to buy it on Amazon and get them to drop ship it to this eBay customer. It was,
do you know what's most shocking about that sentence is that you sold a Michael Bolton CD.
It was new and sealed, but still, yeah. I know. This was a while ago, but yeah.
Just dipping in the chat there. I think I'm way behind, but Gary, Southwest Sellers, says, I had plans a year ago to get to 1,000 listings and open a featured shop. Decided to have less higher priced listings instead, more room in the house and less packaging. So that's somebody making a conscious decision to have less bulk, which does make sense.
Anne Hamilton said, sorry, I can't speak. Bleh. Anne Hamilton says, question, do you know at any given time the value of the stock you have? Now that's interesting. Is that the value of the stock at the price we paid for it, or the value that we think we might get for it?
On eBay, it's very easy and quick to find that out, isn't it? You can, I can't remember how you do it, but it totals it all up for you. Or is that
Yeah.
Amazon?
No, it's eBay.
eBay does.
Amazon, it is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
You've got to export it to an Excel spreadsheet, and then do some stuff. Some
It
magic
always shocks me
witchcraft.
how much our inventory is worth, as in what I've got it up for sale for.
Yeah.
Whether it's ever likely to come to fruition that I'll get all that money is very unlikely, but it is an interesting number to bring up. I can't remember which page or how you do it, but yeah, you certainly can do that on eBay.
I think it's just on your. Is it on your active listings page? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's quite simple to do. I can't remember without looking at it.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting one to look at.
Speed Trap Collectibles in the side chat, hi there, says, I have a 3-car garage. One section is my unlisted inventory. All of my listed stays in the 3rd bedroom, although I do have a lot of unlisted in the room as well. See, it just descends into chaos very quickly. I'm not a very organized or tidy person. This is actually good for me. So yeah, having clearly defined areas of this is unlisted, that's listed, and that should be organized is the constant battle in my life.
Yeah, Nick, it's in Manage Active Listings. So if you click through and then click Active Listings, it'll say at the top, it'll say how many offers you've got, and then it'll give you the total price of fixed price and total price of auctions that will sell.
Fantastic, cool.
Anne says she was referring to value at cost. So for me, you would probably take whatever my eBay says it's worth and divide it by about 10. I generally like to make 10 times what I spent. That's my rule of thumb when I buy.
Struggle to work out what my investment on stock I have in stock is. I would really struggle on that.
Mine would be really easy now because we've only made like 2 really significant purchases over the past 12 months. So just, yeah, it's really easy now. That's one of the other benefits of just buying in bulk.
You still have to take off the percentage of it that you've sold and work out what your investment that you've still got left is. That's still not easy at all.
Not difficult. I mean, like, I don't get it. Like, if you pay a certain amount and then you can work out what you've sold so far. I mean, yeah, it'll take a little bit of time, but
you bought 50,000 items and you reckon you sold 3,000 of them. How do you, I don't know.
Work out what's left
what
I know
reality cost you. It's almost impossible to do.
It sounds like Zahir has solved reselling to me. He's only sourced like 2 times, he said, and he's got 4,500 items that fit in like a sunroom or something.
No,
that's it. Zahir has killed it.
There's my stock there. It's just those 12 crates, pretty much. That's it.
You solve reselling. You win.
Yeah, he's won reselling.
Because the thing is, then it comes down to how much you're making as well, doesn't it? So, I think for the work we do and for the stock we've got, we're not doing badly. I worked out we've got on this inventory, we've got like a 12% sell-through rate. It's just obviously a lot of the stuff we're selling is like kind of low value. So we're making about 100 quid a day on it though. So
I think it's a valid question. Do you think that for you guys and how it works for your situation, how you've got it now, do you think that is the solution for you? Are you happy with where you're at with it?
At the moment, yeah. I mean, the only thing I can say is obviously buying more of the same would probably be the way to go right now. Just because the amount of time you save by not having to go out sourcing. And I think I've realized that I do like going to car boots, but I like going to them now on a much more casual basis. I like, looking for stuff for around the house or something. And plus sometimes, even though like I'm free, the kids are often, only with you at the weekend. So to spend some of your Saturday or Sunday doing that, it's not always convenient. And I think we've really enjoyed the freedom of not having to go there, and during the week not to have to go to charity shops. And plus, it's meant that we've built up a really good network where I know, like at a drop of a hat, I can go and just get more stock. It's that easy. I mean, like, or sometimes I even get called up, and hey, I've got this if you want it. Just drive down, pick it up, and yeah, I'm liking it.
Get the 20 keys and then come back.
That's it.
Sorry,
Yeah. Well, I mean, 20 keys, not really. More just like stuff like that. But one listing.
It's basically the same. Yeah.
It's everywhere. Yeah. I mean,
Do you worry though, Z, that you're resting on your laurels in that sense? That assumption that it's always you'd be able to get that means you're losing your edge a little bit, or
in a way, yeah, you are. It is very reliant on just being able to get more of that stock, isn't it? But I would say it's no more reliant than relying on someone turning up at a car boot with stock that you need. And to be honest, the more you do this, the more you kind of can network. And I've now noticed, because my store's so niche as well, what's really nice is you sometimes get purchases from like other stores that are like yours, so other businesses are buying from you, and then that can lead into another contact or another. So it's just a different way of doing things, I suppose, slightly.
And you get repeat buyers. I never get repeat buyers.
Yeah, lots of repeat buyers. So
that's awesome.
I would say you found something that works, you found something you enjoy, you found something that's making you money. You need to make hay on this while it lasts, because you don't know how long this is going to last. You don't know how long the contacts are going to be there. Yeah. I don't know. The dreaded eBay platform may collapse, that whole scenario. RC may go out of fashion. Who knows? You need to just capitalize on this.
Keep buying.
Make the most.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Just remembers here, it's only money.
I know. I know that. That's why I buy flying sharks and
Kelly wants to know, if you were offered half the value of your current stock to sell the lot in one go and start from scratch, would you take it?
Yes.
You can have all of Tom's for half what he thinks it's worth.
If the answer is no, you paid too much for your stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
order.
Like I think, Carla, you said you kind of work on a very rough, maybe 10 times what your investment is you'd like to get back. So if somebody's going to offer you on everything, on all of this, 50% of that, God, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, take the lot. Yeah.
I'd find it hard though. I'd be crying most of the time while they're dragged out, and I notice these beautiful things that I could have sold, but I'd be laughing all the way
to the bank. To start something completely new, wouldn't it? With a big wad of cash in your pocket.
I'd just start again at this. This is what I like doing.
Just start all over again. Yeah,
exactly. It gives you that joy of, I have to go out and find stuff now. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I'd love that. I need to mention, sorry, Peter Ray sent a super chat over. He says, great chat, all lots learnt. Whether that's
what not to do.
Yeah, what not to do, maybe. Thank you so much, Peter. Really appreciate that. And we just had one in. Looking at the symbol, I think that's Wayne. Yes, Mothership Products. Hey, how are you doing? Says, thumbs up for this great info, y'all.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Well, we are approaching the hour, although we were 5 minutes late, so we've got a little bit of waffle time left. That's all the notes I had, really. Let's have a look.
You had actual notes?
Yeah, but we covered most of the little topics within it that we were going to cover just by chatting around. So, yeah.
I think one thing to bear in mind, though, is like everyone's like journey is so different, and this is such a the whole reselling, working for yourself is such a movable feast that you can't. It's difficult to take a one-size-fits-all solution to something like storage. Your storage needs, in a way, asking what the best storage solution is in a way no different to asking what's the best stuff to sell. It's an impossible answer to give, because
I think that's the beauty of these sort of chats, because we're not really providing solutions or saying what's best. It's just showing what we do, talking about the problems we've had, and if like Peter said, he takes a couple of useful bits of information that he can apply to himself, our job is done, isn't it? But you're absolutely right. And also, everyone's tolerances to this sort of stuff are different. Some people couldn't live like I do. Some people couldn't cope with what Zahir's doing or how Carla has it.
I don't know how long I can live like I do.
Exactly. So you do have to find your own course. And we've said this a million times, just trying to, because it works for somebody else, copying that isn't necessarily going to work out. But
And also be prepared to change it as well, you know, be prepared. Like you guys said, things can change so quickly, you know, like just like I'm doing this right now. For the first couple of years, I was just going to car boots and charity shops. And then I came across an opportunity, which means now I'm not. But in the future, I might be doing it again or doing some, you know, things just change, don't they? I mean,
See, if I was using, I wouldn't be able to control myself and not go to the car boots thing because the FOMO.
I think I've just realized, yeah, but I think I've just realized how much I enjoy lying in on the Saturday and going out with the kids as well. And, you know, because that's the other side. Again, everyone's situation is different. I mean, the looks you get from your kids when you're out all day and then you're, because the thing is, it's not just going to the car boot and that's switch off. Because when we go to the car boot, you get all your stuff. We all do this. Then you come home and spend the rest of the day going through all the goodies you picked up. So it doesn't just end because normally I think, oh, I can do everything. You know, I'm going to car boot at like 5 a.m. I'll be done. I'll have enough time for the kids. 2, 3 in the afternoon, you're still sat there with bags of IKEA bags.
It depends on your personal circumstances, doesn't it?
Yeah, see, I don't
definitely
do
get
that.
FOMO.
See, I have to do. I can't help that. See, I can't help that. I have to do that. I'm like, I've got to just rifle through it all, and then I'll go through it all again when I'm listing it anyway. So it's like a waste of time. It's just
Yeah.
I went to the car boot Sunday morning with a migraine. 3 of my regular stall holders told me that I looked like I was going to die, and they were like, "Why have you come?" And I was like, "'Cause FOMO. You know, today might be the day. Today, I don't know what today might be the day for. Today might be the day that I find my Mewtwo, which I have not found yet, or my Flat Eric, or my whatever flipping game cartridges that I'm meant to look for that gets me a mini. You know, today might be the day." I was almost sick. Every time I bent down to look at anything, I was almost literally being sick because I was so not well. But the idea of not going was just not happening.
I think it was really powerful what you said, Des, here about wanting to spend Saturdays with your kids because they're only going to be young once. And if you can make reselling work for you and not have to go to boot sales and you're happy with that, that's fantastic. You know, boot sailing has become for Andrea and I, it's something we do more for fun together than anything. And that's great. And that kind of works. But
So you see, what I do is I go to the boot sale. I don't bring it in. I leave it in my car. And then on the Friday before the weekend starts, I'm like, crap, I've still got all that stuff in my car. Quick, I need to sort it.
Well, at the time when we were up at yours, and it's like, Lorna's coming back soon. We need to hide this stuff.
Yeah. I think as you progress in this path, you become sort of a better at not hiding stuff, but putting stuff in a way that makes sense to you as well. And I think that's important. Like you said, horses for courses, you know, you've got to just do what makes sense to you, really.
Yeah. Okay, well, we are at 7:05. That was fun, actually. I think we've covered some interesting points there. I hope those that are still stuck with us, we have 187 people left in, which is frankly amazing. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you ever so much for our panel. You are always welcome to pop in to these chats. We don't know from one week to next what the hell we'll be talking about, but that's the joy of it, really. So thank you, Lonnie, for popping in. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Nick.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Carla.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Good luck with your grommets. Have you found them all yet, or does this can?
We are now on 47. There are 67 in total, so there are 20 left to find, but they are more and more scattered around. You know, we've got to do more mileage to find less grommets now. So
I was impressed. I had in my head, I thought you were like hunting little things, and then you found the first one, it's like a full size.
Yeah,
that's the sculpture thing. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're great. They're great fun.
And thank you, Tom. Really appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, you've had a massive super chat, by the way. But I begrudgingly came along again. But it was nice to speak to Lonnie anyway.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Lovely to speak
the others of you could shove off.
Cheers, mate.
I've just seen the super chat. Thank you, David. That's far too generous. You really don't have to do that. Appreciate it, mate. And Zahir, thank you as ever. My wingmans are here. We'll see you on your channel next week.
Yep.
And until then, Zahir, you'll be back, I guess, on Friday for your regular hangout.
Should be, yep.
And Carla on Sunday.
Yeah, it should be. I missed last Sunday, like I said, because of the migraine. Came home from the car boot sale and couldn't face doing the live stream because I looked like death.
Yeah, and Lonnie, at the small hours of the morning for us on Sunday, I guess there'll be a 6-pack show.
Yeah, every Sunday it travels around. There's a reseller 6-pack Facebook group if you're interested, and the link for that show is always there.
Yes, I will try and join you again at some time soon. And I'll be back Sunday as well. Sunday's a busy day on YouTube. Right, thank you very much to my illustrious panel and to all you crazy people for spending your time with us. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Yeah. Bye.